I falsely claimed as in late train compensation. I used to work for a company and was put on a job where I'd have to travel by train to various sites across the UK. These journeys were normally always around 3–4 hours. I'd never know how long I would be needed on site that day, so my workplace would book me an open return ticket. The open return was valid for 1 month and came with a hefty price tag of around £400. But it was great for peace of mind knowing I wouldn't miss my train home. I started to get cheesed off and extremely exhausted of all the traveling. I was one of the lowest paid at my company, but had to do the furthest and most traveling. Nobody else would get put on these jobs. One particular week in the middle of summer, the heat caused some significant delays to train journeys where tracks had melted. Yes, melted, and other various heat-related problems. I was stuck on a boiling hot train at the end of a long day, stood up because open returns don't include a seat reservation. The train had left the station but got stuck just outside, so nobody was allowed to leave. The beads of sweat were dropping off me, and several other people, who I was squashed in like sardines with, stood in the vestibule of this train. I was around 4 hours late home that day. Throughout the journey, there were tannoy announcements about claiming compensation for the delayed journey via train company's website. I thought I'd look into it so I could let my company know. This is where it got interesting. You could claim for the delayed journey and either get the money refunded straight to the original payment method, or get the compensation sent to you via check in the post to a chosen address. With a 4-hour delay, I was entitled to a 100% refund. All I had to do was fill in the online form and attach a photograph of my delayed ticket. A few days later, a check for £400 arrived to my home address. I waited to see if my company were notified and if they would mention anything, but they didn't, so I cashed it. My next few trains went along with no hiccups, but I knew of other trains that would be delayed for whatever reason. I found a website that documented all train times, actual times, delayed times, length of delays. You could filter it to certain stations and certain train journeys, and you could search up to the previous 3 months. With my open return ticket, which was valid for a month, I started watching this website for updates on delayed trains. Specifically, from the station, my ticket would be to from. I'd find a delayed train that would fall within the time frame of my ticket and put a delayed compensation form in, claiming to be on that train, and get the compensation via check straight to me. In total, I reckon I made around 4–6K doing this over a relatively short period. I no longer work for this company, and they have no idea I was doing this. I kind of saw it as compensation for the shitty jobs I was given and my low pay, but it was at the expense of the rail company, not my company, and I do feel somewhat guilty for that.